approach.
In a very humble approach, Shane Van Gisbergen answered all the questions and said, I'm not necessarily going to be granted a win in this race, but he's got the win. Been for Ross Chastain, and another win for Shane Van Gisbergen.
Shane Van Gisbergen crossed the finish line first, but what he really did was rewrite NASCAR history. It wasn't just another win. It wasn't even just another road course victory. It was a moment that changed how the sport views its international drivers, and more importantly, how it views Van Gisbergen himself. Going into the Charlotte ROVAL, the stakes couldn't have been higher. This wasn't just another weekend, it was the round of 12 playoff cutoff, where every single lap mattered. Ross Chastain came in holding on to one of the final playoff spots by the slimmest of margins. Joey Logano was right behind, needing a strong performance or a mistake from someone else to sneak through. Shane Van Gisbergen wasn't even in the playoff picture, but he had his own story brewing, one that would unfold over the next few hours in front of a packed grandstand and a national audience.
Ready?
There you have it.
Oh, he does. Oh, that is just such a gutsy call, because if we watch the points as he pits, Logano is at +2 on your bottom left. Check this out right here. +2. Well, as Chastain stays on the...
From the start, the race was pure pressure. Chastain knew he couldn't afford a single slip, yet early in the event, that's exactly what happened. On a routine pit stop, he missed the sharp left-hand turn exiting pit lane. It cost him track position and, more importantly, momentum. He dropped 15 spots in one go, and even though he fought his way back up, that single moment would come back to haunt him. Logano, meanwhile, was calculating his every move. His crew chief, Paul Wolfe, took a bold strategy call with 1 laps to go. It wasn't conservative, it wasn't safe, but it gave Logano just enough track position to matter when the final chaos unfolded. And chaos is exactly what came next. As the race tightened and the laps dwindled, the tension on the track thickened. Drivers began to take bigger risks. Aggression ramped up. Then, with the pressure peaking, it happened. Chastain, trying to gain a crucial position, made a move on Denny Hamlin heading into turn 7. It didn't stick, he lost control and spun out. His car lurched backward across the track, losing even more ground. At that exact moment, Logano slipped past, narrowly avoiding disaster and barely clinging to playoff hopes. While all of that unfolded, Van Gisbergen was in another world. Not disconnected, but calm, focused. He didn't make mistakes. He didn't flinch. He stayed ahead of the chaos and built a lead that wasn't just impressive, it was dominant. By the time he crossed the line, he was more than 15 seconds ahead of Kyle Larson. In NASCAR terms, that's a lifetime. But it's not just the margin that made this win special. This victory marked his 5th road course win of the season. Not only that, but it was his 10th win across NASCAR's 3 national series, Cup, Xfinity, and Truck. And that made him the first internationally born driver in history to hit double digits in NASCAR national victories, a milestone that no one else from outside the United States had ever touched. That puts him in a different conversation. What makes this all the more remarkable is how specific his dominance has been. All 10 of his NASCAR wins have come on road and street courses, every single one. In a sport traditionally dominated by oval tracks, Van Gisbergen has carved out a lane of his own. It's not just that he wins, it's how he wins. Technical precision, clean overtakes, no panic. No drama, just execution. But even Van Gisbergen knows the narrative that follows him. He's not hiding from it. Earlier in the season, his performances on ovals were inconsistent at best. He struggled to adapt to the rhythm, the drafting, the constant high-speed balance that defines oval racing. And in his own words, that's where the real work begins. After the Charlotte win, he spoke with clarity. He said that while he loves a good battle, sometimes it's better to win by a large margin. He's been studying, watching, learning from other drivers, and using every weekend as a chance to improve. That kind of self-awareness is rare. He understands that to become a true NASCAR champion, he can't just be great on road courses. He has to be elite everywhere. Superspeedways, short tracks, mile-and-a-halves. That's the challenge. And it's a challenge he's not running from. He's embracing it. Joey Logano, on the other hand, may have escaped Charlotte, but not unscathed. His playoff life was saved by a razor-thin margin. Without Paul Wolfe's late race call, he'd be watching the next round from home. And for Ross Chastain, the pain was immediate. He admitted it clearly after the race. That one moment his spin was the end. He said he simply lost control. He wasn't on autopilot, but the pressure got to him, and he paid the price. As for Van Gisbergen, this win adds another layer to an already impressive rookie NASCAR campaign. Since transitioning from V8 Supercars in Australia to full-time NASCAR racing, his learning curve has been steep, but his results say everything. He's not here just to compete, he's here to dominate. And on road courses, that's exactly what he's doing. The big question now is what comes next. The NASCAR playoffs roll into Las Vegas next, a vastly different beast from the ROVAL. Fast, unforgiving, demanding. For Logano and the other playoff survivors, it's another chance to prove they belong. For Van Gisbergen, it's another test, another step in his evolution. Can he translate this road course mastery into a broader threat? There's no question the talent is there. His car control is elite. His ability to manage pressure is proven. His instincts are sharp. But NASCAR demands more than just skill. It demands consistency. It demands versatility. And above all, it demands resilience. That's where Van Gisbergen might just be more dangerous than people realize. He's not satisfied with being the best in one lane. He wants to be the best, period. And this Charlotte win? It's not the end of his story. It's the start of something much bigger. Because now, every driver in the field knows what he's capable of. They know he can beat them outright. They've seen it. And with each win, with each new milestone, the target on his back grows. But so does the respect. No one's dismissing him as a road course ringer anymore. He's a contender, a threat. And if he keeps improving on ovals the way he's been hinting, it might not be long before he's in the thick of a title race. For now, though, Charlotte belongs to Shane Van Gisbergen. His name is etched into the books, his performance will be replayed, studied, and remembered. Not just for how he won, but for what the win meant. It was history, it was dominance, and maybe, just maybe, it was a sign of what's still to come.
Hang on, Hamlin has come up as a second. With those power steering issues, the man who has led 160 laps today still has a chance on this final lap.
Jeff Gordon just stunned the NASCAR community with his honest words about Denny Hamlin. After witnessing Hamlin lose the Kansas race by mere inches, Gordon opened up about the brutal reality of racing heartbreak, and what he revealed struck a chord across the garage. Let's break it down what really went down at Kansas Speedway, a race full of tension, drama, and a wild finish no one saw coming. Denny Hamlin came into the race with one goal, his 60th career win. That would tie him with Kevin Harvick for 10th on the all-time NASCAR wins list. Starting second, Hamlin immediately took control. He led a staggering 159 of the 273 laps and swept both Stage 1 and Stage 2. The number 11 car looked untouchable. His team had given him the perfect setup, everything aligned for a storybook win. But as every racing fan knows, nothing is ever guaranteed on the track. Around lap 214, everything started to unravel. Hamlin lost power steering, a crucial part of car control. Combined with low voltage issues, he was fighting the car with everything he had. Yet, he was still leading with 14 laps to go. That's how locked in Hamlin was. Then came the yellow flag. A blown tire brought out a caution, and everyone pitted. Hamlin's usual jackman was suspended, and the substitute made a costly error. Hamlin lost 4 positions and restarted 6th. Just like that, his dominant day took a gut-wrenching turn. Things only got more chaotic. A crash during the first overtime caused a red flag. On the second overtime, Bubba Wallace, Hamlin's own driver at 23.xi Racing, was on pole. Christopher Bell lined up beside him. Hamlin was 5th. Chase Elliott started 10th, but he had a game-changing advantage: 4 fresh tires. At the restart, Hamlin surged forward with urgency. He reached second and was bearing down on Wallace, his teammate and friend. In the final turn, Hamlin dove low to make a move, but without power steering, his car wouldn't rotate properly. The No. 11 car slid up into Wallace. Both Toyotas lost momentum. That's when Chase Elliott seized his chance. With clean air and fresh tires, he powered through on the inside, snatching victory from both Toyotas. Hamlin finished second, just 0.069 seconds behind. A brutal loss. Visibly devastated, Hamlin told the media,
"Super disappointing. Obviously, I wanted it bad. You know, it would have been 60 for me, and team just did an amazing job with the car. Just really, really fast. Gave me everything I needed. Got the restart I needed. Just couldn't finish it there on the last corner. Obviously, got really.
Then came the heartbreak. Hamlin admitted it was personal. He wanted that win for his family. That emotion, wanting it so badly, might have pushed him to force the issue too hard. He took accountability, saying, "If I had to do it all over again, I think I'd run a little bit lower so I don't get so tight." He owned the mistake. But that didn't dull the sting. The situation was even more uncomfortable because Hamlin had made contact with his own driver. Should he have gone easier on Wallace? Hamlin dismissed that idea. "I would have raced everyone the same way. I'm going for 60. Nobody will ever accuse me of laying over for a win." Wallace didn't hold a grudge. He even interrupted Hamlin's interview to say it was a good battle. That's racing. Now here's where Jeff Gordon comes in, and what he said hit differently. Gordon, a 4-time champion and 93-time race winner, is now vice chairman at Hendrick Motorsports, Elliott's team. He could have been celebrating a massive win for his organization. Instead, he reflected on the agony of losing. Gordon said, "I can't remember many of the ones I won, but I can tell you all the ones I lost. Those are the moments that haunt a racer, not the victories, the ones that slipped away." He explained further, "Those decisions haunt you, missed shifts, bad choices on restarts, especially when it was on your watch." Gordon was speaking from experience. He recalled 2015 at Martinsville when a speeding penalty cost him a great finish. "When it's on you, it hurts, and that's the way I feel right now. I feel pain because we had a golden opportunity right there, and I ruined it for us." Even nearly a decade later, Gordon remembers every detail, because those failures stay with you. When Gordon watched Hamlin falter in Kansas, he didn't just see a driver make a mistake. He saw a mirror of his own past. Despite the victory for Hendrick Motorsports, he empathized with Hamlin's pain.
I mean, I don't know what was going to happen there if Denny wrapped the bottom instead of, kind of using Bubba up, but I still think Chase had a great shot at it just because of the new tires and the run he had going into 3. But
in short, Gordon believed Elliott's tire advantage was likely too much to overcome, no matter what Hamlin did. But Hamlin won't see it that way. That "what if" will stick with him. That's the cruel beauty of racing. One corner, one move, one moment can change everything. And when a legend like Jeff Gordon speaks on that pain, it reminds us that even the greatest carry scars from races they almost won. For Hamlin, Kansas was supposed to be a celebration. Instead, it became a reminder that even when you do everything right, one slip, one miscalculation can turn triumph into torment. And for Jeff Gordon to not just acknowledge that, but to feel it as if it were his own loss, that's what makes this moment unforgettable. Hamlin's near win also adds a strange emotional layer to his already polarizing reputation in the sport. Known for his intensity, Hamlin has often been seen as one of the most competitive, no-nonsense drivers in the garage. But Kansas revealed something different: vulnerability, frustration, and brutal honesty. In fact, when you step back and look at Hamlin's career, you'll see a pattern. He's been close to a championship multiple times. He's won the Daytona 500 3 times. He's racked up dozens of wins. Yet the Cup Series title continues to elude him. Moments like this one, so close, yet just out of reach, are becoming a heartbreaking theme. That's why Gordon's words mattered so much. They weren't just sympathy. They were recognition. Recognition from one champion to another of what it means to carry the burden of a race lost in the final seconds. Of knowing that millions were watching, that your team gave you everything, and that one corner took it all away. And it wasn't just Gordon who reacted. Across NASCAR, drivers, crew chiefs, and fans lit up social media. Some praised Elliott's patience and tire strategy. Others debated whether Hamlin was too aggressive on Bubba, but everyone agreed on one thing: this finish was unforgettable. The Kansas race may not go down as the most historic in stats, but emotionally, it hit everyone in the sport. It reminded us that NASCAR isn't just about speed and strategy, it's about heart, it's about heartbreak, and it's about how you respond when everything falls apart. For Hamlin, this loss will likely haunt him, just like Gordon's Martinsville moment still lingers. But maybe that's what binds the greats together, not just the wins, but the wounds. The races they almost had, the ones that keep them pushing, keep them waking up early, getting back in the car, and chasing that next shot. As for Jeff Gordon, his honesty reminds us of what it means to be a racer. Wins may fill the record books, but it's the near misses that live forever in your soul. And Kansas just became one of those moments for Hamlin, for Gordon, for Elliott, and for every fan who watched it unfold.
Here's a guy that has found a fan base and found a way to do the stuff he loves to do and let people enjoy it, and he's getting paid for it now. He's got his persona, but keep in mind, this guy has pilot's license. He's got his helicopter pilot's license. You aren't going to be a dumbass and do things like that. So I mean, he knows how to have a great time. He knows how to entertain people.
Cletus McFarland started out as a guy doing burnouts on YouTube. Then something unexpected happened. A NASCAR legend spoke up. Not just any fan or critic, but Tony Stewart himself backed him. And when he did, it changed how everyone looked at Cletus. Tony Stewart didn't just say Cletus was entertaining. He said, he knows how to bring joy. He built a fan base doing what he loves. And yes, he gets paid for it. Coming from someone who's grinded out wins, owned teams, and seen every side of the sport. That's a rare kind of praise. It's a stamp of legitimacy. But Stewart wasn't done. He added something that caught a lot of people off guard. Cletus holds a helicopter pilot's license. That isn't a party trick. It signals intelligence, discipline, and commitment. You don't casually earn that. It reframes how you see him. Not just a content guy, but someone who studies, who works, who masters skills most people wouldn't even attempt. Then you see the rest of the picture. Cletus isn't only filming car stunts, he's racing in real competitions. He's running in series, posting lap times, surviving crashes, and still showing speed. He's gaining respect. People who once dismissed him as a YouTuber now watch his on-track performance and have to reevaluate. And the friendship between Cletus and Tony? That's not for the cameras. It's real. Tony has shown up at Cletus's events, hopped in for rides, and collaborated. They enjoy working together. They respect each other, and when someone with Tony Stewart's background chooses to invest in someone's journey, that opens doors. Sponsors notice. Teams notice. The old school sees you in a different light. Cletus has built more than a channel. He created a movement. Over 4 million subscribers. Massive events like the Freedom 500. Collaborations with racing legends. A fan base that doesn't just watch, they show up in person. It's a culture that mixes raw adrenaline with authenticity. And Tony's support ties that world to traditional racing. What makes Cletus stand out even more is how he connects with his audience. He doesn't pretend to be someone he's not. What you see is what you get. That kind of transparency is rare in entertainment, let alone motorsports. Fans trust him because he invites them into his world, whether he's building a new car, tuning engines, or throwing on a helmet to go head-to-head with seasoned racers. He makes people feel like they're part of the action. And he's not slowing down. He keeps evolving his content, raising the bar on production quality and racing ambitions. He's organizing bigger events, testing his skills in tougher races, and gaining traction beyond YouTube. It's not just entertainment anymore. It's a career that continues to grow, fueled by grit and vision. All of this is happening while another story is exploding on the track. A 19-year-old named Connor Zilisch is rewriting NASCAR's expectations. In 2025, Zilisch claimed his 8th Xfinity Series win at Portland. He led the most laps and dominated an overtime restart. That win wasn't just a highlight, it was a signal. This kid isn't just good, he might be generational. Zilisch's rise hasn't been without its bumps. After one win, he's celebrated by climbing on his car. He slipped, fell, and broke his collarbone. It was a scary moment that reminded everyone just how risky racing can be. Zilisch has signed a full-time Cup Series deal with Trackhouse Racing starting in 2026. He'll be joining forces with Shane Van Gisbergen, another rising star with international credentials. Zilisch won't be thrown into the fire alone. Trackhouse paired him with Randall Burnett, a veteran crew chief with Cup wins under his belt. That kind of support means one thing: the team believes, and Zilisch is proving them right. His performance this season speaks volumes. Multiple wins, consistent top 5 finishes, stage sweeps. He's not just fast, he's composed, strategic, and mature. On both road courses and ovals, he's showing the range that defines future champions. What makes this even more fascinating is how these two stories, Cletus McFarland and Connor Zilisch, intersect in spirit. Cletus represents the new wave, an outsider who broke in through media, built his own spotlight, and earned legitimacy. Zilisch represents the traditional route: karting, ARCA, Xfinity, and soon Cup. But both are redefining what success looks like in NASCAR. And then there's Shane Van Gisbergen. A 36-year-old rookie from New Zealand, SVG, has taken the Cup Series by storm. He secured 4 road course wins before the halfway point of the season. His dominance triggered a bold statement from Denny Hamlin, a NASCAR veteran himself. Hamlin said, "Is he the best road course racer I've ever seen?